Where are you gonna go?
Buenos Aires. I can lie low there, maybe sniff out a job when things quiet down. You?
Stateside.
Send my regards.
He saw the art, thought to come to me and bargain for his life. So I offer you the satisfaction.
It's not the way I deal with things. What will you do with it?
Nothing. But I can't speak for Cobalt Engineering.
What do you want from us?
Inception. Is it possible?
Of course not.
If you can steal an idea from someone's mind, why can't you plant one there instead?
Okay. Here's me planting an idea in your head. I say to you, don't think about elephants. What are you thinking about?
Elephants.
Right, but it's not your idea because you know I gave it to you. The subject's mind can always trace the genesis of the idea. True inspiration's impossible to fake.
It's not true.
Can you do it?
Are you offering me a choice? Because I can find my own way to square things with Cole.
Then you do have a choice.
And I choose to leave, sir.
Tell the crew where I want to go. Hey, Mr. Cobb! How would you like to go home? To America? To your children?
Can't fix that! No one can!
Just like Inception.
Cop, come on. How complex is the idea?
Simple enough.
No idea is simple when you need to plant it in somebody else's mind.
My main competitor is an old man in poor health. His son will soon inherit control of the corporation. I need him to decide to break up his father's empire.
God, we should walk away from this.
Hold on. If I were to do this, if I even could do it, I'd need a guarantee. How do I know you can deliver?
You don't. But I can. So, do you want to take a leap of faith? Or become an old man, filled with regret, waiting to die alone? Assemble your team, Mr. Cobb, and choose your people more wisely.
This call is being recorded.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam, how you doing?
Good. We're good.
Good.
One moment. One second. Just a second. Oh boy, just a second here. Oh, boy. Shoot. It's amazing, this program. Just a second. Hmm. Oh, boy. All right. I was having a little trouble. With the controls of the conference. One moment. All right. We're going to get started. Are you children? Are you ready? Present and ready for Sunday school today? Are you all present?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to begin. In the name of Allah, who appeared and is in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, we're going to these meetings are recorded, so I'm kind of dependent on you to let me know. One moment. I'm kind of dependent on I'm kind of dependent on you to let me know when, if my voice becomes unclear, as I'm not using my headset. I'm speaking into the speakerphone because I find that when it when it's uploaded to YouTube, it's clear and very crisp as opposed to me talking into my headset or microphone for my phone. But since I'm speaking in my speakerphone, if my voice gets away or if it gets choppy, please feel free to interrupt and let me know that I can't hear you or there's some kind of interference with the voice quality. Okay, what we're going to do... Did someone say something?
Yes, this is one of your listeners. If it's not your children speaking, if there's other folks that are listening in on the call, if they could not overtalk you, that would be very helpful so that I could hear everything that's being said.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we tend to have... okay, no problem. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to start back with your Farad prayers. And let's see. Who's going to be first today? How about Kamal? All right, Kamal, let me hear you. Let's hear you say your Farad prayer.
Okay. Surely I turn myself, being upright from who originated the heavens and the earth, I'm not the policy. Surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the world. No soul should have he is listen my commanded, and I am the soul to submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust in myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults. For none grants protection against falsity, and guides me to the best of morals. For none guides to the best of them but me, and turns away from me to even more but me.
All right, very good. Maria, let Daddy hear you say your prayer, sweetheart. Is Maria there?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to say your prayers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, sweetheart.
Surely I turn myself being upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am out of the polytheist. Truly my prayer, my sacrifice, and my life and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the world. No associate has he, and this is my command, and I of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my fault. So grant me protection against all my faults. For none grants protection against faults but thee, or guides me to the best of morals. For none guides to the best of them but thee, or turns me away from the evil ones but thee. Amen.
All right, very good. Okay, Diane, let me hear you say your prayer, son.
Surely I have turned myself, being upright to him, who originated in the heavens and the earth, and I am out of the polytheist. Surely my prayer and my sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, Lord of the worlds. No associate has he, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults. None grants protection against faults but thee. Guide me to the best of morals, but none guides to the best of them but thee, and turns away from me the evil morals but thee. Amen.
Very good, son, very good. Okay, Rafiq, let's have it.
Surely I have turned myself, being upright to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I am not of the polytheists. Surely my prayers, my sacrifices, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate has he, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King, there is no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults but thee. And guide me to the best of morals, for none guides to the best of them but thee, and turns away from me the evil morals but thee. Amen.
Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, are all of you ready to give your weekly presentation today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Before you give your presentation, I just have a word or two to say before we get to them. I kind of want to talk to you a little bit. You know, as we grow in our ministry, and as we teach the people, and as we are teaching the people, our audience is growing. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's not been one person that I have talked to via phone or internet that does not enjoy hearing children recite the Word of God. Every grown person that I ever talked to enjoy listening to you present information. The nature of our Sunday school, however, will not just reflect your knowledge of what you're studying. The nature of our Sunday school will also reflect, in some ways, the audience that is now becoming more and more present in your Sunday school. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because as the Son of Man, I have a duty not only to you, my own children, I have a duty to the black nation. We have a duty to share our knowledge, our understanding, our wisdom, and our experiences for the betterment of our entire community, our entire nation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So with that, before we get to your Sunday school presentation, I have a few words to say. And I want to talk to you about reality. And I want to talk to you about control. And, I guess my lectures are kind of thematic of the life that your father has lived, because it is every parent's desire that their children do not make the mistakes that they have made, and that their children achieve a higher and more successful life than they have lived. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So, that's why you will notice the focus of my lectures, outside of Master Farad Muhammad, which is the number one focus. I'm always teaching you about people and about how to not be deceived, and how to take care of yourselves, and becoming self-sufficient in terms of your attainment of knowledge and wisdom. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But I want to talk to you about something. And with regard to power, I want to talk to you about power for a moment before we get to your presentations. Now, I listened, one of my favorite, even though he's not a professed Muslim, he's dead now. One of the favorite doctoral lectures I like to listen to is by Dr. Wilson. And I want to share some things with you to empower you, not only you, my children, but even the adults that has come to listen to you present your Islamic lessons. Now, I want to talk to you about power. Now, if you go through my videos time and time again, I am teaching certain truths that go unchallenged, and from time to time, I will even point out something that someone says that is in direct contradiction to the teachings of Islam. I would literally play what they said and then also play the audio of what the messenger said. It is a clear contradiction. And yet, even though I show this, the people pay no attention and they don't challenge or refuse to follow people that are deviating from the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Understand, children, that the teachings of Islam, the teachings of the supreme wisdom, have application outside of theology. The wisdom that I am teaching you applies in economics. It applies in your social interactions with other people. It applies in your personal life. It applies. Islam is a way of life. Islam is actually not a religion. Islam is a way of doing things, a way of life. This is why this is why we tell you that Islam is the black man's nature. Meaning, if you just had black people in a society and you left them alone, they will naturally be Islamic. They will conduct themselves. The teachings of righteousness are written in your DNA. Do unto others as you will have them do unto you. The teachings of Jesus, it's in your nature. We do not have to be taught righteousness. We are righteous by nature. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is why, look, if you ever get a map, look at the map. Jesus him and his mother ran to Egypt to escape the death plot against the life of Jesus. Jesus left Egypt, went back to Jerusalem and Israel to teach the Jews. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Jesus left Africa, went north to teach them white folk. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Prophet Muhammad was born in Arabia. Prophet Muhammad went throughout the Middle East, conquering and fighting in the name of Allah. But Prophet Muhammad did not set foot, he set foot in Africa, Ethiopia for refuge when he was at war with the Ethiopian king. But the point I'm making is Prophet Muhammad did not go into Africa trying to convert black people to Islam. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That is because the black man is Muslim by nature. And actually, as given to us by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the black man is Allah. As the book of David says in the book of Psalms, around the 82nd chapter, I have said that ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High. So the prophets, when you look at the historical records, forget what you see today when you got these so-called conscious people, the black man God, and, the white man the devil, and black man God, and peace, my brother. Forget all of that. Just look at history. You can tell from history that there's something different about black people than any other nation on the planet. All the holy lands are in the east. Prophet Muhammad, Jesus, Abraham, these people did not prophesize or go throughout the dark, what they call the dark continent of Africa, teaching Africans righteousness. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The reason why Jesus didn't go back into Africa, the reason why Muhammad didn't go into Africa to teach those people righteousness, because it was not necessary. Because they are righteous people by nature. If we ever get to go to Egypt and we get a chance to go into the pyramids, I'm going to show you. If Allah willing, I'm going to take you to Egypt one day. And we're going to walk in the halls of the pyramids, and I'm going to point at hieroglyphs, and I'm able to show you by looking at the hieroglyph verses that's in the Bible. The word hieroglyph, hiero means holy. Glyph means writing. So when you are in Egypt and you're walking through the pyramids, when you're looking at the hieroglyphs, you are looking at the holy writings. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And those writings were written by black people. We are creatures of righteousness when we are left in our natural state. Islam today is a religion for black people because black people have been made other than self through enslavement, through economic depression, through social rejection, through basically worldwide hatred. We have been made other than our natural selves because we live in a world, for the most part, everybody basically hate black people. Whether you're dealing with the Arab, whether you're dealing with the Caucasian, whether you're dealing with these Koreans in our communities, on some level, these people do not like you. It's just that the white man is at the top of the pyramid because the white man's hatred is just in your face. But if you go to the Middle East and you see these Semites, these Jews, these Arabs, they hate you just as much as this white man here in America do. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that being said, the only thing that we are doing in Islam is reintroducing you to yourself. That's all we are doing. You know, it is not in the Quran. It is not a Quranic charge that a Muslim prays 5 times a day. You won't find that in the Quran. It's not there. Yet in the Middle East, they say that Muslims pray 5 times a day, and that is true, through custom, through the actions of the Prophet. But these people in the East are praying 5 times a day. They pray more than Christians. And they kill and they do all manner of evil, and these people heed the call of prayer 5 times a day throughout the Middle East. If you are praying to God that many times a day, why in the world don't you have peace? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The reason why they don't have peace and the reason why they are taught to pray 5, 7 times a day is because Islam for these non-black people is a prescription. Like when you go to the pharmacy to get medicine for your illness. These people are not Muslim by nature. Islam is a prescription for them to take. If you get diabetes or you get some kind of high blood pressure, what will happen? You go to the doctor say, look, take this pill 3 times a day and eat something before you take one in the morning, one after lunch, and one before you go to bed. That's called a prescription. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's strange. Get up 5 o'clock, have 5 o'clock prayer, have noon prayer. When the sun go down, pray again, and then at the dusk, pray again before you go to bed, pray. Doesn't that sound like a prescription to you?
Yes, sir.
Why is it that prescription was not given to the Africans? Why is it that prescription was given to those Semites in the Middle East? You give a prescription to people that are sick. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The white race and their cousins, them Semites, spiritually, they are sick people. They might be in a tip-top shape of health. They may look young. They may not have any heart problems, no diabetes, you name it. They're in perfect physical health. But spiritually speaking, they are some sick people. It is only a sick spiritual person that can take another nation and enslave them for over 4 centuries, then emancipate them and still mistreat them. That's that's not only sick individuals. That is a sick society that propagate that way of life of killing and making another nation miserable. That is a sick genealogical people. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Islam is not written in their genetic code. Therefore, they need a prescription. Therefore, they need Jesus to literally tell them, do unto others as you will have them do unto you. Prophet Muhammad prayed 5 times a day. My God, 5 times a day? What's wrong with you? Now, the black man has been among these people. And the black man today acts like his slave master, sick. Black people doing all kind of evil. And guess what? The same prescription that we gave these white folks in Islam today, as it stands now, black people are given the same prescription because they caught that disease. They are sick today themselves. Even though they are righteous by nature, they act other than their natural selves. Therefore, Muslims today, we pray 5 times a day. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Understand something. Per the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, to further back up the point or the teaching that I am giving you, remember, the messenger said that when we are in the presence of Allah, we don't fast nor do we pray. Did you know that?
No, sir.
Yeah. When you are in the presence of Allah, there is no fasting. There's no prayer. You're in Allah's presence. That in itself tells you that these people are damned. But let me get to a point, we're going to get to your presentations. I want to talk to you today a little bit about power and mind control. And go back to the example I was talking to you earlier about how you can literally tell a so-called Muslim today that say they believe in the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, and you can show them in black and white, not only in writing, you can actually play the tapes, and these people will still ignore you. In psychology, in particular in the science of hypnosis, there is what we call in hypnosis, we have negative hallucinations, and you can have positive hallucinations. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What is a negative hallucination? If somebody undergoes the process of hypnosis, the hypnotist, for instance, a man can be sitting on stage with a white rabbit in his lap. You can hypnotize a person and make them not see the rabbit that's in someone's lap. You can convince their mind that there's a man sitting on stage, but he does not have a white rabbit. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's called negative hallucinations, meaning you can take somebody's mind and make them not see something that is really there. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What is a positive hallucination? One moment. A positive hallucination is when you can convince the person subject to hypnosis that there is something there that is really not there in reality. Meaning, you can have a man, the same man, sit on a stage and not have anything in his lap, and yet you can convince a person through hypnosis that same man with nothing on his lap on the stage is holding a white rabbit. And when a person opens their eyes, they will see something that's not there. They will literally see a white rabbit, and they will actually they will actually pet the rabbit and have a relationship with the rabbit, but the rabbit is not there. That's called a positive hallucination. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, what's the main ingredient of hypnosis? What's the power of hypnosis? Well, when you are in the power of a hypnotist, his power relies on giving you information. His power relies in the hypnotic suggestion. In other words, the hypnotist tells you what you can see and what you can't see. The hypnotist defines your reality by speaking words through your ears and putting ideas in your mind. And he can control your mind through hypnosis, through the use of information. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where am I going with this? Listen, when a person is in a position to tell you certain information and define for you what is true and what is false, in court, in criminalities, when people commit crimes, a lot of times a woman can control a man because a man is so in love with her, he is willing to kill for her. And a woman that may be jilted or be angry with an ex-husband, a rapist, an ex-boyfriend, through the use of her body can cause a man, or for money, for any reason, a woman can exercise hypnotic control over a man and have him go kill someone else that she wants killed because that man desires her that much. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, a murder has been committed. When the woman and the man goes to court and they're both charged with murder, the man is charged, he's the man that actually committed the act. The woman would be, in this scenario, would be considered to be the mastermind. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And she will receive the same sentence that the man that actually committed the murder. The defendant may come in there, I didn't do it, I didn't pull the trigger, but she was the mastermind behind it all. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Young boys are especially susceptible to this kind of crime by having illicit, immoral relations with an adult woman. An adult woman is able to twist the mind of a teenager or a child and get him to do all kinds of things. But she, in a court of law, would be considered a mastermind. The mastermind has control of what the subject believes to be reality from non-reality. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is the position that we are under in America, under the white man. The white man controls what information we get. The white man controls all the airways. He controls the news. He's in control of the music that you hear, no matter how black you may think it is. He controls the distribution of that music. The white man is in complete control of information that comes into your ears and that you see in America. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If the white man is in that much control of the information that you receive, then by psychological definition, the white people of America are your masters. Or better, the white people of America are your masterminds. because they control what information comes into your head. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
One moment. Now, when I was in school, sometimes, we had to do extracurricular activity or homework. And I got a homework assignment for everybody within the sound of my voice. And it's a very easy homework assignment. At your leisure, after this lecture, next week, today, whenever, I want you to go watch a movie called Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio. That's INCEPTION, Inception. But let me get to the point. Why am I telling you to go watch that movie? One moment. Now, this question, by the way, we have now we almost got as many adults in this Sunday school as we do children. So with that, this is one moment. This is a question for the room, and anybody can speak without getting a dictionary and looking the word up. I just want to hear what you understand of this word I'm about to ask you the definition of. What, children, you can answer too if you know. What is a totem? A TOTEM. According to your understanding, what is a totem?
A symbol.
A symbol? Anybody else?
A tall figure.
What'd you say?
A tall figure.
A tall figure? Anyone else? Okay. If no one else, I'm going to go ahead and speak. Someone else trying to talk?
No, sir. One second.
All right. A totem, one moment. Yeah, a totem is a symbol, or, like Rafiq, I think that was Rafiq, they said a figure, like a doll or something. Some kind of figurine or some kind of symbol. That's called a totem. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you watch the movie Inception, I want you to, do something that I do when I watch a movie. There's nothing wrong with having fun and being entertained, but try to make whatever you do serve your interest. When you watch that movie Inception, the thing I want you to realize is that in that movie, the actors in that movie was controlling other people's realities. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And the only way you knew whether or not you were dreaming, or the only way you can tell reality from non-reality, is if you had your own totem that nobody knew about. Because if you are in another reality and you don't have that totem and you go reach for it, that's the only way you know that you are in a false reality. Because if you're in the real reality, you reach in your pocket, there's your totem. Well, you know you're not dreaming. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. A totem is a sacred symbol. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, I want you to walk with me because I'm about to show you some things, and we're going to get to your presentation. When you look at the flag of the Nation of Islam, the star and crescent in the red background, isn't that a symbol?
Yes, sir.
That's also a totem. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
By definition, not by opinion, by definition, the flag of the Nation of Islam is a totem. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about Master Farad Muhammad. Master Farad Muhammad, we have a photograph of him. Let's just leave it at that. Master Farad Muhammad is a sacred symbol of the Nation of Islam, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
By definition, Master Farad Muhammad is a totem. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now walk with me and listen to me very, very carefully. One moment. Watch this. Remember, the only way you can tell reality from non-reality in terms of that theatrical movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio is by your totem. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, listen to me carefully. If you go into a situation, something that Dr. Amos Wilson said a few years ago, he said, what are the main elements of a hypnotic session? He said, two people and the exchange of words. He said that's all that's necessary to be hypnotized. Is two or more persons and the exchange of words between those two people. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
He said by definition, when you go to class, that is a hypnotic session. By psychological definition, when you go to school and your teacher is speaking words to your mind, and you are in an environment with another person telling you things, and you're receiving that information, two or more persons, and the use of words, those are the only necessary elements to be hypnotized. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's keep walking. So if you go into a situation and someone is trying to teach you Islam, and you don't see the American flag, not the American flag, you don't see the Nation of Islam flag in that temple, and they're trying to tell you that they are teaching you the Islamic dictates of Elijah Muhammad, you have reason to be suspicious of someone that's claiming to be an adherent of Elijah Muhammad, and you don't see Elijah Muhammad's flag. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because you are in an environment and you don't see your totem. You understand?
Yes, sir.
If you go into a spiritual classroom, a lecture, and someone is posing to be an Islamic representative of Elijah Muhammad, and they never even mention the God of the religion that they're teaching you of, which is Master Farad Muhammad, and you are in this setting with this person teaching you Islam, and they fail to even mention Master Farad Muhammad's name, they have taken the totem away. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So how do you hypnotize a person from reality to non-reality? You must remove the totems. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
When you are in an environment and someone is teaching you Islam, they have changed the flag. Master Farad Muhammad is no longer God. You are no longer listening to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, watch this. I'm going to go even further. Let's talk about the American flag. Now I'm going to go off the top of my head. The American flag, to my memory, has 13 white stripes and 13 red stripes and 50 stars in a blue background. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The point I'm making is this. It may be 14 stripes. The point is that the American flag is a creature of statute. The American flag is not something that's arbitrary. You can literally go to the Federal Register and see the legal definition or the legal requirements for what we call the American flag. It's written in the law. It must have this many stripes, this many stars, and these colors. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, watch this. If I walk into a courtroom and I see the American flag, but around that American flag, I see gold trim. I see some golden threading around the edges of the American flag. Do you understand that when you see the American flag surrounded by a golden border, that through the Federal Registry, by definition, that American flag is no longer a flag of freedom. It is a flag of military control, martial law. When the American flag is flown with a golden border around the edges, the American flag in that condition is symbolizing that you are under martial law, or you are under the law of the military code of justice. You are under military law when you see in a courtroom, or you're in a space where the American flag is being flown with gold trim around it. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you walk in a courtroom and you see an American flag with no gold trim around it, by definition, that's the American flag of freedom. You are not under military law. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Symbols are important. I am telling you reality. I'm probably telling you things that many members of the armed forces don't even realize. Some of them may, but probably our family, many of them don't even understand that. When that gold trim is around that flag, America, that's a war flag. America's on the march. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Symbols are important. But let me get to the ultimate point here. The ultimate point I'm trying to show you is, Allah, according to the Holy Quran, Allah is the truth. Allah is the reality. So when you come around people that claim to be your brother, that want to be your spiritual guide, and they are not teaching you the reality of Allah, they're not presenting our flag to you, the Nation of Islam, you don't see that flag. And they're not talking about the God that they say that they serve. They don't even mention his name. These people are leading you into a non-reality of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
One moment. I'm going to pause it there. I have a lot more to say on this subject, but we're going to get to your presentations. But believe me, I got so much more to say on that. Okay, we're going to have your presentations. We're going to start reverse order again. Dane, are you ready to give your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, son, let's have it.
I did my Islamic presentation on our video titled Master Farah Muhammad, The Iron Will of God, Michael Jackson's Thriller Part 3 of 6. This presentation starts off with turning to the 103rd chapter of the Holy Quran, verse 1 through 2. It reads, "By the time, surely is man in loss." By saying that surely a man is in loss, that means that that means us, because 6,000 years ago, when the white people were put into power, we were at a loss because our time was up. In Michael Jackson's video from Thriller, he says, "But all the while, you hear the creature creeping up behind, you're out of time." Then it goes on to say, "Because this is Thriller night. There ain't no second chance against the thing with 40 eyes, girl." The white man was placed in the caves of the hillsides of Europe by the black people in 4000 BC for 2,000 years. He became a caveman, ate raw meat, and lived his life as an animal. In 2000 BC, Moses came to Europe from Egypt and retaught the white man the knowledge he needed to finish out his time as a ruler, because they had 4,000 years left, or 40 centuries. A century is 100 years. So 4,000 years divided by 100 years is 40 centuries. So the white man is the beast with the 40 eyes, or centuries. The next verse reads, "Night creature calling, the dead start to walk in their masquerade." Examining the word masquerade, a masquerade is a costume party at which masks are worn.
The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad pointed out that the black man is dead, that we are the ones in need of resurrection, the black man and woman of America. We are dead to the knowledge of self of God. The masks that cover our faces are the lies told to us by white people. When you wear a mask, no one can see you. We were blind to the knowledge that we are gods because Satan put falsehood on our faces. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that every time you look at a black man, you are looking at God. Amen.
Okay, very good. That was a very clear and concise presentation on that video. I really don't have anything else to add to that. You presented the information. You gave an explanation of what you presented. So there's not much I even want to even add to it. You know, I mean, I made the video. You make me want to go back and look at it again. So, very good presentation. Next up, we'll have Rafiq. All right, son, let's hear your presentation.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'm going to be presenting on Black Messiah 2012 AD, Part 14. In the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's book, Our Savior Has Arrived, he stated that the days of Allah means years of Allah and not a 24-hour day, and that the days of the judgment would occur for around 20 years, and that the judgment was to take place between 1380 and 1400 years after the death of Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad, who brought us the Holy Quran, died on June 8, 632 AD. Since the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the judgment would take place between 1380 and 1400 years after the death of Muhammad, when we add those numbers to the year of his death, then we would end up with the years 2012 through 2032, which is when the judgment would take place in. Now, if we go to the Bible in the book of Peter, chapter 3, verse 8, it reads, "But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day." Well, if one day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, then 1 hour with the Lord would be as 41.6 years approximately. This is because there are 24 hours in a day, and if you divide 1,000 years by 24 hours, you would get approximately 41.6 years every hour. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that 2 spiritual hours after the appearance of the morning star would be when the sun would rise. Well, according to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the morning star is Allah's messenger, or, him, Elijah Muhammad. And Elijah Muhammad appeared in 1930, or he was raised in 1930 by Master Farad Muhammad. 2 spiritual hours after 1930 would put us around 2012, which is the date that's correlated with the judgment. And he said that the sun would rise. Well, what this means is that the Son of Man would rise. And who is the Son of Man? Dad. Amen.
All right. Not much more to say about that other than the prediction or the situation with the death of Prophet Muhammad, June. One moment. The situation with Prophet Muhammad, whose death occurred on June 8, 632, in the book Our Savior Has Arrived, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that, according to the scholars, and which he agreed with, is that the judgment would take place 1,380 years, between 1,380 years and 1,400 years after the death of Prophet Muhammad. Well, that brings you to 2012 to 2032 per Our Savior Has Arrived. So, yeah, that's just basically what it is. Again, a very good presentation of part 14 of the video. I could say more, but it was a very clear explanation of what you can see on that video, and I really have not much more to add to that. Very good presentation. Okay, Kamal, let's hear your presentation, son.
Okay. In the name of Allah, who lives and appears in the person of Master Rahman,
Well, explain.
The video I did is titled "White Scientist Reveals Black People Are Being Targeted for Genocide." The video is about how white scientists are targeting black communities for genocide. In Detroit, white people put lead poisoning in the water that can be fatal over time, as well as in Washington, D.C. The CDC scientists covered up, showing a link between vaccines and autism in young African American boys. They have the predatory. They have that word targeted. They have targeted black men and women because they know they will have more aggressive cancer because of their skin color, and it blocks ultraviolet light, so you have less sunny D. So these businesses purposely diagnose black people with cancer so they can make a fortune. There is a genocidal targeting on black people. Lead causes mental retardation, so this isn't a coincidence. If you look at the food in black communities, it causes cancer, heart failure, and diabetes. This is a cycle that makes profit, and they know in black communities that in black communities, the white people know they can make the most money out of them. Vitamin D can help you not have a cancer doctor. Anyway.
All right. Rafiq, get the Bible and turn to the book of Matthew, chapter 24.
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Read verse 22.
And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened.
One moment. Now, Rafiq just gave us a lesson concerning the years of the time of the end. And he told you for what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad indicated, and our Savior has arrived, that the end will come between 1,380 years and 1,400 years after the death of Prophet Muhammad, which puts you squarely on the years from 2012 to 2032. Yet Kamal next reads you presents a presentation concerning what the Caucasian white government has done to the black community in the state of Michigan, in particular the city of Flint, with regard to the poisonous water that they gave to the residents of the city of Flint. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, in the 24th chapter of the book of Matthew, Jesus said that God was going to shorten those days. So when Jesus said God was going to shorten those days, that means in the context that Jesus said it, Jesus is going to shorten the days of God's elect. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The word elect means chosen. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Before Donald Trump became president this year, Donald Trump was elected in November of 2016. He did not come into power until January 2017. You understand?
Yes, sir.
During that time, Donald Trump was America's presidential elect, or America's choice for her next president. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Well, God has an elect. God's elect is the black man and woman of America. God has elected or chosen the black man and woman of America to be his kings and queens in the hereafter, to rule for eternity, meaning the black man in America, he will preside in rulership over the entire universe forever. This gene pool, this people, this nation that's in America is the chosen people, not the Jews of Israel, but the black man of America. We, our people, we are God's elect. We are God's chosen. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we're living in those days that Jesus told us about. He said, except for those days be shortened, there shall be no flesh saved. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to hypnosis. Now, currently, we hear all the time about terrorism. The war on terrorism. The terrorists did this, the terrorists did that. But notice, we get all our news and information from, Western-controlled or Caucasian-controlled media telling us about terrorism. But historically speaking, it is not the Arabs that have been the greatest terrorists on the planet, historically speaking. The black man in America was terrorized for 400 years by the Caucasians of this country. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
We have been living under terrorism since we were first brought into slavery in Jamestown, Virginia. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yet, we today, the children of those slaves, we watch television, we watch CNN, NBC, ABC, and we watch our terrorists tell us about the terrorism of another people across the sea. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That is mind control. We're more worried about Arabs committing terrorism than the terrorists that we live with in America. It is not the Arab that's shooting black men in police uniforms. It is white America doing that to us. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
When you drive your car, you get pulled over by those blue and red lights. You're not thinking about the jihadis in Saudi Arabia or Yemen. You're thinking about that Caucasian that's approaching your car with handcuffs and a gun and a justice system that will exonerate him if he should choose to murder you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Black people have been living under terrorism for nearly 500 years. It is just that the white people and the rest of the world is finally getting a taste or an idea or inkling of the terrorism or terror that we have been under for nearly 5 centuries. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Our people are under mind control. To sit there and watch a television and listen to the real terrorists tell us about terrorism and why we should be worried about these other people. No, our concern is the terrorists we're dealing with in America. How many black men have been shot and killed by white police officers and have not went to jail? How many? Can you even number them? You didn't just hear about it. We got film of the brother selling a cigarette in New York and getting murdered by a white cop in New York for selling a cigarette. A brother in California getting shot at the train station, handcuffed on the ground, face down, and shot and killed. And the white police officer get away with the murder. Another brother in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, selling DVDs and trying to feed his family because he don't have much education. He's not selling drugs. He's trying to hustle to take care of his family. He's shot and murdered by the 2 white cops in Baton Rouge, and those cops are still walking free today. When people are able to murder you with impunity and with the blessing and protection of the justice system and their fellow citizens, you are living in a terror state. It is not a terror state for white people. It is a terror state for black people. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
One moment. So those days must be shortened. Look at the nature of white people. The more power or knowledge that the white man as a community or nation gets, the worse condition that we fall into. The more knowledge of genetics, the more knowledge of DNA, the more knowledge of agriculture he gets, the more knowledge of gene splicing he gets, the more evil he is able to do, and he does. He now has GMO foods in our food line, genetically modified foods. He's poisoning the foods. The water, you can't drink out the faucet no more. You got to drive or walk to the store and buy water because the water is poisonous. You know, the more science he learns, the more he learns how to split the atom and make fusion with hydrogen, he builds bigger and bigger bombs. The white man by nature is marching you and me towards utter destruction. He tells us to worry about Kim Jong-il and nuclear weapons in Korea. Yet him and his brother in Russia have more nuclear arms than any nation on the planet. The white man is the only people on the planet that has actually set off nuclear bombs in another nation. No other nation other than white people has bombed people with nuclear weapons other than America. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yet, somehow, through the propaganda of that one-eyed monster, through the propaganda of his television, internet, news, newspaper, magazine, he makes you think that Kim Jong-il in North Korea is the nuclear threat. When North Korea or no other nation on the planet has used nuclear weapons against another nation besides the white man. He has a scared of another people. He's the only person that has ever used nuclear weapons. And not only that, he gets more nuclear weapons than anybody on the planet. But we're not worried about him. That's called mental mind control. White people are the masterminds of your reality. They tell you who your enemies are. They tell you who your friends are. Do you understand? Because they control the information and news that you see. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So those days must be shortened. Meaning Allah has to cut the time because the devil, this white man that came out of those caves, the beast with 40 eyes, he's on the loose. As the book of Revelation tells you, the devil has come down upon the earth because he knows he has but a short time. And he has a short time because Allah is shortening the time because of his evil. Let's see your presentation, Amaria.
Yes, sir. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum. I watch the Son of Man will return. In the book of Revelation, we have, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And his righteousness, he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had made a name written that no one knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was the Word of God. In the book of John, we have, it is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are pure spirit, and they are life. Here Jesus tells us that the Spirit is the Word, or that Word that the Spirit them through thy truth. But we are sure that the judgment of God is according to the truth against them which commit some things. We know God is truth, and Jesus and the Revelator was talking, casting down imagination and every hard thing that callous itself against the knowledge of God, and bring into captivity Amen.
Are you finished? Or are you still presenting, sweetheart?
Yes, sir.
Are you're finished?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the lesson, a takeaway from the presentation that Amari has done, she read in the scripture where Jesus told us what spirit is. He said the word is spirit. He said the words are spirit and they are life. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is a very important concept about the word being spirit. Now, according to what we have learned previous, what is an individual?
An indivisible duality.
What does it mean to be an indivisible duality?
It means that if the duality is broken, if one is separated, then the other one doesn't exist.
We are individuals or indivisible dualities because we are both flesh and spirit. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And it is the spirit, it is the flesh that produces the spirit, much like a magnet that produces the magnetic field. In that example, the magnetic field would be the spirit. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And before we close this Sunday school lecture, let me revisit very briefly before we dismiss the subject of power and words and spirit and hypnosis. Let me bring this full circle. Let's talk about the woman or the black woman right now for a moment. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that a man's heaven is his woman. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Heaven is a place or a condition of peace and happiness. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, if the most honorable Elijah Muhammad told you that a woman is a man's heaven, that means, by definition, that one of the greatest heavens a man can find is in his woman. One of the greatest sources of peace and happiness is with your woman. Understood?
Yes, sir.
But, I got a son that's 17. I got another son there he's 15. Got another son that's growing up. And, things are changing, becoming adults. Life is looking a little more different, exciting, scary, who knows, but they're becoming men. And due to the nature of my job as your father and as we can say, my contested claim of being son of man, it is my duty to talk to you about certain things. And I want to talk to you right now about a woman and the reality of things. Let's talk about reality for a moment. Then I'm going to get to my subject. Has everyone ever seen a globe, of the world, the 7 continents, South America, Africa, Australia, America? You ever looked at a globe?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, if you in your mind, and it's not a trick question, believe me. Just, if you know the answer, just say it. When you look at America, you think about the 50 states, okay, you got this picture of a globe in your mind. Now, if you are in America and you are looking at Africa, think about the map of America in your mind, and then think about where Africa is located. Which state in America is closest to Africa, to your best guess?
New York.
Florida?
Florida? Who said? Did somebody say something else?
Yeah, I said Florida.
Yeah, I heard Florida. Did someone else say another state?
Oh, I said New York, but
I can't hear you.
I said New York.
Who said New York?
Kamal.
Kamal said New York?
Yes, sir.
That's interesting, because Kamal is closer than the person that said Florida. The closest state in America to Florida is the state of Maine, which is in the northeast corner of America near Canada. Maine, not Florida, is the closest state to the continent of Africa. Now, I know that may be shocking or very surprising to you. Kamal is a little amazing little fella. I don't know how he even got that close. I'm not even going to go there right now. The state of Maine is the closest U.S. state to the continent of Africa. Now, so why is it that when the question was asked, did we hear the response, and y'all and the rest of you by your silence agree that the closest state to Africa is Florida? That is because of the way that the globe has been presented to you, the information provided to you by the school system under white control. You would typically see Africa closest to Florida. But the reality is this. When you look not at that flattened, distorted map, when you look at the real map of the world, when you look at the polar map of the globe, Africa is closest to the state of Maine and not Florida. When you look at the real map of the globe, the reality, when you look at nautical miles, Maine is closer to Africa and not Florida. So if we, and I say we, which is inclusive of myself, if we are walking around with a false sense of reality, if we really think that Florida is closest to Africa, we are in another reality. That's not the truth. And if we're believing something that is not the truth, then someone else is controlling our mind. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you are dealing with information and mind control, you are dealing with power. Florida is not the closest state to Africa. It is the state of Maine, which is, in our current paradigm, just ridiculous. Wait a minute, Maine is way up there. Africa is way down there. But you're not looking at a real map. This is what I'm trying to tell you, how white people control our minds. But let me get back to the black woman. And let me say this. Station identification. There is not another more powerful teaching of Islam you're going to get other than where you at right now. Go. I want you to find this minister or this other son of man. Find them. Because I'm trying to get to heaven too. But let me continue. Let's talk about the woman. Oh, one moment. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Now, these lectures are going to more than likely be posted to YouTube. So although I'm talking to my children, I'm actually talking to other young men. I want to talk to you for a moment. The woman. One thing you must understand, and I'm talking about the woman in context of power. Inside of every woman, I'm just going to tell you the truth. Inside of every woman, I don't care how beautiful she is, how powerful she is, however she look, or whatever political or social situation this woman is in, inside of every woman is a little girl. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
A woman by nature, by her very nature, wants to be taken care of and wants to be secured by the abilities and powers of a man. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is not the lecture of political correctness. This is the lecture of reality. This is the lecture to give you power to understand yourself, to understand your significant others, and to have peace and ultimately power and control over yourself, your family, your nation, and eventually the world. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you cannot rule and understand your own house, you cannot rule any nation, or you cannot even rule the world. You can't rule your own household. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And the beginning of all power on this planet begins with the woman. Forget what you heard. It's about the woman. Let's talk about the woman. Inside of every woman is a little girl that wants to be taken care of. But let's talk about the interaction that we have been accustomed to when dealing with women. And let's keep talking about that reality. The reality of thinking, or the false reality of thinking that Florida, as I used to think, is the closest U.S. state to Africa when it's in fact Maine. Let's get back to reality. And let's talk about women and men. Now, when a woman breaks your heart, or a woman breaks up with you, and you're crying, she left you, or you can't have her no more, you go through these blues. What is really going on? When a woman leaves you, what are you really missing? And listen to me carefully. And before you get upset, just hear me out before you make a judgment, because I'm going somewhere with this. Is it her funny jokes? Chances are, in the relationship, you were entertaining her and telling her jokes and making her laugh. Is it the way she makes you feel? It's you that's feeling that way. How many times have you had a crush on somebody that never knew that you had a crush on them? And you're feeling a certain way. You're feeling in love with them. You want to be their girlfriend or boyfriend. You want to get with them. And they have no idea that you're going through all of this emotional drama. So is it the way she make you feel? No, because that's you. It's an illusion. Someone cannot take love from you. Love is inside of you. It is not outside of yourself. Do you understand?
Yes.
A woman with all her effort, no matter what she do, a man of understanding already knows that a woman cannot take the love that you have in your heart for her or anyone else. She cannot take it from you. Only the illusion can cause you to have pain for you to believe that because this woman has left you, that you're heartbroken and that you don't have love anymore. It has never left you. What a woman is to a man is a mirror, a reflection. In the scripture, when we was looking at Joseph, and Joseph was talking about his mother and his father and his brothers. In the scripture, Joseph's parents was compared to the sun, his father. His mother was compared to the moon, and his brothers and sisters were compared to the stars. And Joseph had a dream that the sun, moon, and stars was bowing to him. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But that's another subject. Let me stay focused. The woman is like your moon. The moon reflects the light of the sun. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The woman, if you find a woman that is interested in you, all she is really doing is reflecting to you how beautiful you are. Remember, she's not reflecting how beautiful she is. Guess what? You already see that. You're looking at her. So she is reflecting your light. She is holding a mirror and showing you what is really inside of you. And so when she leaves, she just takes her mirror away. But if you can remember what you've seen, you don't have to get sad, go walk to the water, go in the bathroom and look in the mirror. All that she's done is she just put her mirror back in her purse and walked off. A woman reflects you to yourself. She shows you how much love is inside of you. And the reason why you're able to see and feel that love is because you are taking care of her. Do you understand? It's like an oxymoron. You know, the higher truth you learn, it gets like paradoxical, a little funny, a little confusing, but you just got to think about it. And believe me, this is one of these lectures that you're going to have to listen to, rewind till you get it. But I'm telling you that a woman simply reflects the beauty that's really inside of you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And think about it. Think about this. Women are something, man. Let me explain this to you so you can understand. Because let me tell you, it's not, this kind of talk is not really, I'm like the only one with this wisdom or knowledge. Other men have this wisdom and knowledge, but they don't want to share it because they don't want competition. They don't want you, they don't want to keep you the game or understanding of how to deal with women, how to get women. They don't want to share this information because they're selfish or competitive. But the way my mind works, if one black man is winning, I'm winning too. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because if I'm surrounded by a group or a nation of black men that truly understand women and understand their role and what they're supposed to do with women and how women and what they are to truly expect from a woman that's reasonable and what is in her nature to do, that means that when that man gets with that woman and have children, then that man's children that is a product of that relationship of understanding, they're going to produce children that's going to be good for my children to marry. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You have to think outside of yourself. We have to grow up. It's not about you and how many women you're able to be with. It's about us. So it is important that men sharpen men and that we get ourselves together. It's time out for hiding knowledge and wisdom. We must share it and grow and take care of ourselves, our women, our children, and our nation and become a nation. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is why I am talking to you like this, because it is systemic of our community in this country that the black men of this country do not know their proper roles, and they are running around destroying our nation with their penis. If you see a black woman with children, that is not the woman that you pursue to have a fling with. That woman has children. The more children that a woman have with multiple men, the less attractive she is, no matter how good she looks. The less attractive she is to another man for marriage. So if we as men are running around this country just trying to have a good time with our women and making all these babies, that woman is going to be in the position no matter how good she looks, of being a woman that men that we know when we talking at the basketball court, that's not the woman that you're going to marry. And we have to stop it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I have a daughter. And if God gives me the wisdom and power, my daughter's going to be a virgin when she get married. Where am I going with this? Meaning, if some dude is coming pursuing my daughter, I got 3 sons, 3 of them. And if my oldest son, Daeen, tell this dude, look, man, no, you ain't talking to my sisters. You need to go on about your business. That's the law. My daughter, and I'm not no American. My daughter don't have the last say about what man is going to deal with her. Me and my sons do, her brothers. If we got to be men when somebody is mistreating our mothers and our sisters, then we going to be men all the time. A man knows another man. Daeen ain't got to tell this dude but one time to stay away from his sister. And if Daeen or one of us catch you again around his sister after he told you that ain't going to happen, he going to get his behind whipped. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because we got to deal with the consequences of you trying to have a good time with our sister or our women. You get my sister a baby, it's going to get that much harder for my sister to get married. You're going to give me your problem. This is the attitude of men. And we got to get the black man straight. I'm not going to tell you but one time, no. There ain't no debate. I don't care what she say, no. It is our duty to protect our women. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Let me get back to the subject. Where am I going with this? Let me get back to the nature of the woman. I want to wake you up. I want to open your eyes to this. A woman does not have the conversational game of a man. What do I mean by that? When you become a man and as you grow up, you're going to come back and listen to this lecture, because I am going to save you a lot of heartbreak, and I'm also going to cause you to save the women that you deal with heartbreak, because I'm going to help you understand yourself and understand women and how to respect them. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
A woman does not have the conversational game that a man does. How can I say that and how can I prove it? A man has to talk his way into a woman's life. He has to give her all these reasons and say all these sweet words to get in with this girl, to date her and to hang out with her. A woman ain't got to do that. The only thing a woman got to do is dress nice, keep good hygiene, and just basically stand there. A woman will stand there and take your application and accept or reject applications. That's what a woman does. A woman ain't got no game. Historically and by the numbers, women don't talk themselves into relationships. It is us, for lack of a better word, dumb men that don't recognize the reality of the situation. A woman takes her application. She does not give you her resume. You give her yours. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is the nature of the game. She takes applications. She's not by nature or by practice used to going out, approaching men, and, hey, baby, you want to go out and let me take you. A woman don't do that. That's not her forte. She don't know nothing. That's not the game she plays. She sit back and play armchair quarterback. So she ain't got no game like that. She just sits there and look at your application. Nah, I think I can do better than this. Because biologically, she's looking for a man that can provide and take care of her future children. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It is the man that got all the game. It is the man that speaks the word of God. What do I mean by this? Listen to me. The way to a woman's soul, the way inside of a woman's mind is through the use of words. Women love compliments. If you are ever trying to get the attention of a woman, a sure path to get there, if you are able to get there, is kind, sweet words and compliments. Women are suckers for compliments. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's the way you get to a woman, by getting between her ears. Why in the world is my daddy telling me this stuff about women? Why is he telling me how to game? What's this got to do with Islam? It got everything to do with Islam. Currently in the news, there's an entertainer by the name of R. Kelly. R. Kelly has about 6 or 7 women at one of his houses in Chicago and Florida. And these women are with R. Kelly in a polygamic relationship because R. Kelly has the means to take care of all of them luxuriously. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But R. Kelly has not married any of these women. He is in a unnatural financial, he is in an unusual financial condition as compared to other black men in this country. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So since he has this much power and money, he's able to exude a certain amount of influence over women. And what he is doing is not right. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Why am I telling you about R. Kelly? What does this got to do with Islam? I'm trying to tell you something. In our culture that the white man allows us to partake in, that he distributes to us, the so-called black culture, when you listen to music, rap music, R&B music, it's always about love and sex. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The music and the culture that we listen to does not tell us anything about power. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Listen to me, and listen to me closely. You should not spend your time trying to figure out how to manipulate the minds of women to get what you want from women. That is a waste of time. That is a rabbit hole that my generation and younger, we went down this rabbit hole of spending too much time trying to figure out how to pick up women. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You should spend your time figuring out how to obtain power, how to obtain a good job, buy a house, own your car, own your business. I guarantee you, if you own your house, you own your own car, you own your own business, you will take applications. All these women that you spend all that time chasing, the rabbit will start chasing the hound. They will come to you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is the game of power. But with power, you need righteousness. Because if you are not a righteous person, when you obtain raw power, it will corrupt you and it will destroy you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Where am I going with this? The Muslims are the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. When you follow the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad will lead you down the path of righteousness. There is not another man on this planet that can compete with a black man in Islam that is truly righteous. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So the white man knows he can't win that game. He knows he's not more righteous than you. So what he must do on the collective level, he must keep black men from the reins of righteous black men from the reins of power. He must keep finances out of your hands. Because if you're already practicing righteousness, once you get finances, you will be able to wield power over your children, over your women, over your nation, over other men. If you are a righteous man with riches, you can run and take over the world. So the white man is working to his wit's end to keep money out of a righteous man's hands. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
What am I saying to you ultimately? What I'm saying to you is this. We as black men should not waste our time trying to figure out how to manipulate women for one-night stands and a good time. We should spend our time trying to obtain and keep power. That should be your goal. Not listening to music about getting with a girl and being in love. Get in love with God and get in love with power. R. Kelly has all the power, but he has no righteousness. He's corrupting those women. He's not marrying them. They're young and fresh, and he's going to use them up and dismiss them. Who's going to want a woman like that? He has the power, but he has no righteousness. But the lesson that you can learn from looking at this man is that women, if you set up right, you don't have to learn the dark side of manipulation to get a woman. If you practice righteousness and you attain power, women no longer become a problem. Women become a solution. Women become heaven for us all. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So, so when you see one of these sick niggas coming around your women like your sister, getting between their ears with that game and that yang, you ice that fella. Like, no, man, get away from no, not you. You stay away from my sister. It is your duty to protect your woman and your women and your sister. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
And you're doing them a favor, because woe be to the man that get my teenage daughter pregnant. Woe to him. And that's the attitude of a man. Men are the rocks. Men are the forces of stability. You become a man. You take care of yourself. You set yourself up so you can see a woman in the proper perspective. Not as an object of pleasure, but as an object of power. That's what the woman is. That's power. And that's why the black community is in the worst shape it's in, because other men are exercising power over our women. I am not telling you something that I'm thinking. I'm telling you something that I know. I travel the country weekly. How many young black women do I see at these truck stops? Beautiful, teens, beautiful hair, beautiful skin, and prostituting themselves with truck drivers that got money, that got enough money, selling their bodies to take care of themselves. How many women do I see in this condition? That if a man who finds out that this woman was a prostitute selling herself to any truck driver, he's not going to marry her. These men that are prostituting our women because they have money are destroying our nation. Because a woman like that you cannot respect. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
We must take control of ourselves and our women, and particularly our finances. Because the way to a woman is through her ears with kind words and money. Your women are open prey to the white man or to any man with money and power. You must get in an economic superior position and protect her. Because if a woman gets in a desperate enough situation, she will lay and just destroy herself, her respectability, and ultimately her nation. That's why we are in the condition that we are in, because we don't have the proper outlook on women, our women. And the culture that the white man controls, the music we listen to, the movies we watch, like this movie that they released with Jada Pinkett and Queen Latifah. This movie that's showing the whole wide world that black women just like to have sex, that black women are not sophisticated, that if black women, if nobody's watching them, they are promiscuous and love to have sex with any man. This is the image that they are projecting of us around the world, not just in America, all around the world. How many times have I seen this? When I'm in Chicago, when my truck is broke down and I get a hotel room, and I walk in a classy hotel room like the Hilton, and they're having an Islamic convention with a bunch of Arab Muslims. But when I get on the elevator, there are black women with short skirts on, with makeup and hair and wigs, going to these rooms of these Arab men that claim to be Muslims, prostituting our women, our black women in Chicago, when they having their so-called Islamic conventions. The Son of Man is walking around America looking at this, and I'm speaking against this. I don't want my women prostituted and laying with these men. How many times have I walked to Southern University in Baton Rouge, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and see a white man driving a pickup truck and a black woman that's on crack getting out of that truck 6 in the morning, while that white man drives back to Denham Springs thinking that nobody's seen them, prostituting our women because we are economically strangled. Do you understand?
Yes.
We are at war with these people. White people are not your friends. They slip around and sleep and corrupt your women. They plot against us to keep us from getting a good job, and pervert and turn upside down our households, and make it hard and difficult for you to get a job and take care of yourself and your woman, but give her all the jobs and pathways to success over you, destroying your household. We are at war. I'm not telling you the game of love and how to pick up women to manipulate them. I'm telling you the game so you can understand and get yourself together and grow up and be men and be an example for the rest of the black men and children that's coming up behind you. Do you understand? Because if we don't get it together and we don't protect these women, we as a nation are doomed and destroyed. This is war. You must get yourself together, get yourself in a position of power to take care of your woman, and do so and raise children and be an example. And if you don't do that, you are not only condemning yourself and your family to hell, you are seeking by your actions to condemn the entire black nation. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
One moment. Are there any questions or comments before we dismiss this class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay. Children, I must commend your father. I am a female, and I am a more mature female, and I am a successful black female. When I say successful, I mean in terms of success in raising my children. When I say successful, I mean in terms of education. I've got a bachelor's degree. I've got a master's degree. When I say successful, I mean in terms of business. I'm at the top. The highest level I could possibly go in my career. And when I say successful, I mean in terms of money, well into 6 figures. And when I say successful, I mean in terms of ethics, right and wrong, and understanding the significance of having a relationship with God. Now, though I may not be a Muslim, I practice Christianity. I'm not one to be at various churches. I have a very personal relationship with God. So I would consider myself a very successful Black woman. I am single, meaning I am unmarried. I am in a relationship with a great man. But just to touch on some of the points that your father made, I think that they were very good points in a broad broad perspective, and I will not say anything to contradict him. Number one, because he is teaching to you, and number two, there really isn't anything to say to contradict what your father has said, because when in any situation there are exceptions, or to every rule there's an exception. I must say, though, these women out there that may have been promiscuous or may have had children at an early age, or who have made poor decisions and have prostituted out their bodies, or whatever the situation is, they are not trash. They are not to be thrown away. And they many of them will mature out of that situation and live healthy, loving lives with men who actually love them. So I don't believe your father was stating that these are women that are thrown away and that men look at them as if they are trash or to be thrown away. I don't want any of those that are listening to this to take that away, because I don't believe that was his intent. If that was his intent, I'm sure that he'll correct me. His point with regards to, brothers, men of the family looking after their female, whether they're siblings or female cousins or whatever, very protective of the females in the family. I must say that, again, I'm divorced. I have 2 children. And to this day, I've been in a relationship with a man, and my father has always been protective. It's just been the 7th year into the relationship where my father has opened up and welcomed this man into the family. That is saying a lot. Men are to protect the females in their family at every turn. That is what men do. They protect their women. It doesn't matter how old they get. Men will always protect the women. Good men will always protect the interests of their own families and protect their women. That's what good men do. As far as being a reflection, a female being a reflection of a man, I believe that's true. I don't know for sure if the son of man is in a relationship or not, but I would suspect that if he is, he has to be quite happy, because if the female in his life is a reflection of him, she's got to be a beautiful, successful woman. Now, with regards to, women standing back, not having game, the women got game. They just not going to share with men that they got game. That's like one of those silent, kept secrets. Women got game. But that's not why I'm talking right now. The fact that we stand back and we accept resumes is very true. But the more educated women that you deal with, the successful women you deal with, it is going to be extremely hard to break that barrier, because money is not going to matter to that female whatsoever. For me, I'm speaking for myself and my peers, who are also 6-figure educated women at the top of their game. We could care less right now about money because we are financially sound. What we're looking for is companionship. We're looking for a man that will respect us and, yes, take care of us. Monetary would be nice, but take care of us as far as uplifting us. We are, all of us women have, we want to be treated like princesses, like queens. We want to be taken care of. We want to be told how pretty and wonderful we are, yes. But for a lot of us who are pretty and wonderful, we don't need another man to tell us that. But the right man telling us means everything in the world. I get compliments from men at every turn. It means nothing to me other than what a nice gesture. But those words coming from the right man, the man that is in my life, means everything. Why? Because he is the object of all of my attention, and it is very important that I get that type of attention from him, because I am a little girl on the inside, and I want to feel pretty and loved by my prince, my knight in shining armor. So he is very correct in what he says. And what's going on in the media and how women are portraying themselves, it's disgusting. It's disheartening. You know, us mature women don't see ourselves like that. But just to go back to what your father was saying with regards to being in love with your God and being in love with power, that translates to being in love with spirituality and being in love with being able at some point to take care of yourself, to take care of your woman, and to raise a strong black family. So I just wanted to touch on those points just to let you know I believe it's not necessarily the rule that your father was speaking to. It may be the exception, and the rule may be on equal playing ground nowadays. There's the number of successful black women. If you look up statistics, your mind might be blown as to the statistics between black women with education and black men with education, and the amount of money that black women are making compared to what black men are making. So the playing field is a little bit different now. But overall, your dad is extremely correct with regard to the importance of being spiritually grounded, the importance of having power, the importance of being in a position where you can take care of yourself and your woman is so important. So, Brother Kevin, thank you for speaking to this. I wish there were more men out there speaking the way that you spoke, not putting down our black women, but speaking in terms of uplifting our black women and being stronger as a black man. So thank you very much, and thank you for the time.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Could you all give the listener or caller a hand, please?
Yeah, thank you. Right there. That was amazing.
Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment or ask a question before we dismiss?
No, sir. No, sir.
I think I heard I thought I heard somebody say yes. Did someone say yes?
Not from us.
Oh.
Okay. Well, if there are no questions or any more comments, I will close the meeting. In the name of Allah, who appeared and is in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.